morning, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the podcast sessions with Chris Prescott of Master CDP Studios. A lot to talk about today. We just came out of a WWE pay-per-view weekend. We had the SmackDown brand pay-per-view, Hell in a Cell, last night. A pretty damn good pay-per-view. A lot of good stuff to talk about from there, and a lot of bad stuff, though, to go over. And then we're also going to talk Destiny 2, Iron Banner returns. We're going to talk Destiny 2 by Iron Banner. A little bit about this, about the seasons. I don't know if you noticed in the clan, when you're in your clan menu, it shows your level, your current level for this season. So I'm going to go over a little bit of that. And just all things WWE and Destiny. And I'm also going to start adding a little audio engineering portion of it, where I'm going to go over what plugins might be on sale for the week or for today. So actually, we will start that off right now as we go into the Waves plugin. So if you go to the Waves website or Sweetwater, wherever you shop for your effects plugins and all your processing, all your processors. Sorry, can't talk this morning. It's early Monday morning. Well, not really that early. It's 9 o'clock, but you know what I'm saying. You know, it's my day off, so it's early. It's a day off, and it's early. But so if you go over to the waves.com right now, this is a big bundle sale. The Waves Mercury bundle, which includes 164 plugins. Right now, usually it's on sale for $7,599. Today, if you have it, $2,499. Now, I know that's pretty steep for a lot of people, like including me. But what I did was I bought the gold bundle a few months ago when it was on sale for $199, and it was on, or it's usually $799. So that was a big deal for me. I thought that was a great deal, and I got 34 plugins, great plugins. Everything from the compressors that come with, or the compressors, the Waves compressors. There's the Meta Flanger effect plugin. There's all the guitar stomp, the guitar tool rack, their guitar amp, their guitar amp plugin, which is actually really awesome. I love using that plugin for all my rock and metal tracks. Great virtual amp plugin. And just a lot of good stuff in that gold plugin, or gold bundle, the Waves gold bundle. Got the max bass stereo and mono. You got the in-phase plugin, which I really like a lot. And just a bunch of other good stuff. Doublers, de-essers, compressors. But this Mercury bundle has got more than double the amount of plugins that came with my gold bundle. So if you have the extra $2,500 laying around, be sure to go check out Waves Audio, because I believe it's just for today that sale is going on. Maybe I might start doing plugin reviews too. Maybe I'll start doing videos on that. Just a little overview of the plugins, how they work, what they do for your tracks, and just all the different plugins that Waves have alone. I mean, I can do a huge series on that, and then I can go over to the other plugins that I have from the other manufacturers, like Isotope. I have some Soundspot, some Softtube, and then of course all the Personas plugins that you get that come with Studio One. And then there's a few plugins that I have that I really like from a little company called D16 Group Audio Software in Germany. I have that Toreverb, which is an awesome reverb plugin, and then I have the Frontier, which is their limiter. So, I might start doing some videos on that. Why not? It's fun. It's fun playing and testing out the plugins. I enjoy doing that a lot. Right now on my my vocal tracks here for this podcast, I actually have the SSL-E channel strip on the audio tracks here for my vocals. I have, the compressor and the gate on, or I apply that to these vocals, and I really like the way this one sounds. It makes everything sound clean. I don't know, that's just me, and I'm talking about like for my vocals. It just makes it sound very clean. I like how it sounds. But yeah, I'll have to do a more in-depth, I think, video series on the plugins, and maybe start reviewing it. Or what I kind of want to do too, and you can let me know if you want to see some of this. I'd like to do live recording sessions. Like if I'm making up, most of the time when I'm making music up in here, it's for my friend's YouTube channel, and it's for my YouTube channel, and then it's for a project that me and my buddy Assassinator from Assassinator Entertainment, he has his Nintendo YouTube channel, so you should check that out if you like all things Nintendo. He's got great content on there, whether it's collectibles that he collects from GameStop or online, or tips on how to play certain video games, beat certain maps, or whatever it may be. And then just the live streams, the competitive live streams that he has with the Splatoon game, Splatoon 2. I know that's a real big game right now. So a lot of good stuff for Nintendo fans out there. If you really like Nintendo, head over to Assassinator Entertainment. A lot of great stuff on his channel. But most of the time when I'm making music up for his channel, I'm always using MIDI instruments. So I'm using my MIDI controller to write and perform the music, and using all the virtual instruments inside Studio One or any ones that I've bought. So I'm thinking about, since it's very simple, just all I do is open up my DAW, open up the template. If I already don't have it, then I just create a new template, and I get to write in the music. I get whatever idea I have in my head, and I just start writing it down, or I start playing it on the keyboard. If I have one part, maybe I just have a bar worth or 2 bars worth of notes or a melody or a rhythm, and then I'll loop that over, and then I start adding all the other instrumental pieces. So maybe I'll do live sessions of me doing that. I think that'd be kind of fun, and you get to sit back and watch as I write some music and listen to the stuff that I come up with and what goes on in my head as I'm writing the music down. Maybe I'll add some commentary, like what's the thought processes going on in my head as I'm playing the song or coming up with the melody or whatever it may be. So yeah, I look forward to doing that. So I think I might do that soon in the future here. Along with doing the, like I mentioned before in my other podcast, I want to start getting some donations going. So I'm going to be looking into my my PayPal account today, setting that up so I can start getting those donations going for Animal Friends of the Valley here in Lake Elsinore, California. It's a local animal shelter. They have about 13,000 animals going through that shelter every year. I mean, I get to hear all the stories from the shelter as far as the animals that come through, and I get to see the animals. My wife, she works there, so she tells me all the stories with the animals, the dogs and cats that get dropped off, and just hearing the reasons as to why people drop animals off, why they abandon them. It's just like, it's ridiculous. But I'm not going to get into that. That's another topic for another day, I think. Probably not going to be on the podcast, but it just, there's a lot of horrible people out there. And if we could make a difference by donating to that shelter just to help them out, whether it's hiring more staff to help the animals with behavioral issues, or more supplies, more space, maybe they can eventually add on to their space there, so they have more room for animals, more kennels, whatever it may be. That's what I want to start doing. So I'm going to be looking into my PayPal account, getting that set up, and how I need to set it up so we can start taking donations. And of course I'll contribute my own money as well. But I just think it'd be good to have as many people as possible just helping out the animals at the animal shelter here in Lake Elsinore, California. And I would hope when people hear this, from other states and other towns, I'd hope that would maybe put it in their head to want to do the same thing around their area, in their local animal shelter. So hopefully this, good things come from this. But without further ado, let's get into the main topics of the podcast, because the main things that we talk about here, mostly Destiny 2 and pro wrestling, primarily WWE. Just, especially today because we just came out of a pay-per-view weekend with WWE. But we'll get onto that more later because we're going to start off with the Destiny 2 talk. And so for those of you who don't know, this week it finally returns. The Iron Banner Guardian comes back and it returns to Destiny 2. Well, this will be the first time that it's coming to Destiny 2. And for those of you that haven't seen the gear for this, oh my god. It reminds me of like Samurai Warriors. Especially the Titan. The Titan looks awesome. It's got the big old helmet with the big horns. It really resembles that Samurai Warrior look. And then the shoulder pads with the wolves on it. That's freaking awesome. The Hunter looks okay. It looks just like any other Hunter, just with the Iron Banner logos on it. He has like a hood and everything. The normal Hunter look. Got the chest gear, the Iron Banner logo. And then, of course, the Warlock has a pretty sweet looking gear. Almost, it's like a mini Titan one. It's got the smaller horns, and he's got the wolf. Looks like the wolf head on the below the shoulder blade, actually below the shoulder pad. So more on his bicep, it looks like. But very excited for this. As you know, that when they bring this about, it usually results in Guardians picking up some of the best looking gear and some of the best looking weapons. All of the Iron Banner gear and weapons always looks good. I just love that logo. I love the whole wolf thing, the wolf mythology and everything behind it. The wolf look to it with the with the medallion, with the tree and the two wolves facing each other on each side of the tree. I've always liked that logo. And the guns, I just remember the hand cannon that I got when I was playing Destiny 1 in Iron Banner. One of the better hand cannons, I thought, with the third eye. And the impact on it rivaled the Imago Loop, which is one of my favorite hand cannons. I believe it was the Imago Loop that it rivaled. But yeah, I just remember a lot of cool gear and weapons coming from that. So I'm really looking forward to see what weapons they're gonna have. How many more weapons they're gonna have because of the Iron Banner now coming out. But that hand cannon, the Finala's Peril, that was one of my favorite hand cannons, and it had a really nice look to it. So I'm really looking forward to see if Destiny 2 can come up with some good hand cannons here for the Iron Banner, of course. But Iron Banner starts at 2 a.m. Pacific time. So basically tomorrow, with the reset, Iron Banner 2 will be in effect, and you'll be able to partake in that. And from what we've read, the level advantage is going to be disabled. So it's going to come down to your skill more than it is your power level, because it's not going to matter what your power level is. It's really just going to come down to your skill and who's using the freaking Mida multi-tool all the time. That's all it's going to come down to. Everyone's just going to be using that Mida multi-tool like it's the best thing in the round. Which, if I was better at it, I'd probably use it too. Maybe, I don't know. I really like using the Better Devil's Hand Cannon. I have a set loadout that I love to use every time for PvP, and I'm always using the Better Devil's Hand Cannon. I'm using either the Valedikin or the Euro's Gift for my energy weapon. So 2 auto rifles, and then a rocket launcher, whether it's the Wardcliffe Coil. I have a few other legendary ones in there that I don't really use as much as the Wardcliffe Coil. And then, of course, I go with the Arc subclass, and I go with the Code of the Earthshaker tree. I like that one primarily because of the double grenade charge, and that always comes in handy in PvP. That comes in handy anywhere you need some effective ad control, especially in those strikes. You get all those ads coming in there, and sometimes one grenade and your hand cannon isn't enough. So you got to throw 2 grenades out there to really control those ads. But yeah, that's my loadout. I like that loadout a lot. Better Devil's Hand Cannon, and the Euros Gift or the Valkadin. I like the Euros Gift because it hits harder than the Valkadin or Valdikin or however you pronounce that freaking name. But the Valkadin fires more rounds, so you know each of them have their strong point, and I like using either one really. And then the origin story, that's another good one, and another one that was my favorite, because in Destiny 1 I didn't really use a whole lot of auto rifles when when I was playing PvP. Used it more for the PvE events. But this time they've really upped the game. I'm sure, like I said before, it's only a matter of time before the Euros Gift and all these other auto rifles are nerfed down because people are going to cry about it. I mean, it's a video game, you know, it's not like you got to take it serious or anything, but a lot of people do. And unfortunately, those auto rifles, I'm sure, are going to get nerfed down eventually. Just don't mess with the hand cannons, please. The hand cannons, I think they're good the way they are right now. The better Devil's Hand Cannon is probably my favorite. I do like the Bad News a lot. It just doesn't fire as fast as the Better Devils, and I believe the impact is just a little bit hard-hitting than the Better Devils. But that Better Devil's Hand Cannon is efficient. It's just good all around, and it's just, I don't know. I like the way it looks too. I think it's gonna take over my spot for favorite hand cannon right now because the IS Luna's not around, and the IS Luna was my favorite hand cannon from Destiny 1. But I will say this: the Dire Promise, it's a Dead Orbit hand cannon. Dead Orbit, best in the world, baby. Won that faction rally, but that Dire Promise, it's promising to be one of my favorites as well. Not the best range compared to the old fashioned, but better handling, better stability, and I believe the impact is actually on par with the old fashioned, because the old fashioned was becoming one of my favorites until the better Devils came out of nowhere and took that spot for me. So yeah, a lot of good stuff going on there with Destiny 2, the Iron Banner, and then the raid prestige. The prestige level of the raid is coming. So I know a lot of people have already beaten the raid. I have yet to partake in the raid, and I am very upset about that. Not really, but the raid, you know, it's been out for a little bit now, and this week, along with the Iron Banner debuting in Destiny 2 for the October 10th reset, the prestige version of the raid will be released as well. So those of you that have been waiting for that prestige raid, get ready. Get your Guardians leveled up, max them out, because it's time to partake in the prestige raid. And another thing with Bungie, that they're going to be holding a live stream on October 20th, and they're going to talk about what they mean by seasons in Destiny 2. If you know, or if you noticed when you're in your clan page, it shows your current level for your clan, and it says Season 1. Well, they're going to go more in depth on what they mean by Season 1 and by seasons in Destiny. How many seasons are you going to see in Destiny 2 for the lifespan of the game? And they're just going to go in depth about that. So looking forward to that. It's going to be October 20th, 4:30 Pacific Standard Time. Be ready for that. And I don't know if there's really much else regarding Destiny 2 other than that. Like I said, you know, Iron Banner is going to be starting up. That Prestige raid is going to be coming out as well. Really looking forward to see when the next faction rally is going to be. So obviously it's not going to be a weekly thing like they used to have it. Looks like we're going to be seeing the faction rally stretched out longer, and apparently there's going to be some downtime from the faction rally longer than a week because, well, I guess we'll see what happens tomorrow. Really can't say anything about that until we get that reset tomorrow. I could almost imagine them wanting to have that faction rally going on with the Iron Banner, but usually they'll announce that beforehand, and I haven't seen anything in regards to that, so we'll see what happens tomorrow with the reset. And now on to the WWE or pro wrestling segment of this podcast, which usually takes up most of the time of these podcasts. So I guess what we should do is right off the bat start off with the Hell in a Cell recap. Last night, SmackDown had the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view, which was a pretty damn good show overall. A lot of good in-ring wrestling. And the show opened up with the tag team championships being defended. The New Day, Big E, and Xavier Woods defending the SmackDown titles against Jimmy and Jey Uso, the Uso brothers. And man, they took that one to another level. That's the first time that tag team champions have been defended inside a Hell in a Cell. And this one was no slouch of a match. It wasn't boring at all. Really, really fun, violent match for what it was. There was a cool segment where Xavier, or part of the match, where Xavier had Jimmy up in the corner of the Hell in a Cell. He had him against or outside of the ring in the corner of the Hell in a Cell, and he pinned him in that corner by putting a bunch of kendo sticks through the links of the gates. So basically trapping him in like his own little prison in the corner while they beat up on Jay. But, I mean, that was just one part of the match. That whole match was awesome, and if you haven't checked it out yet, definitely worth going back and seeing. Jimmy and Jey Uso defeat the New Day for to recapture the tag team champions. Now, from what I've heard, the New Day, what WWE plans on doing with them, so not only did they make them the longest reigning tag team champs of the modern era, now the next record, from what I've heard, that they want them to break is the amount of tag team champions held. They want the New Day to have the most tag team title reigns of all time in the WWE. So obviously that this was just another step of getting there, because I'm sure they're gonna have a rematch. Maybe the Usos will win the rematch, but I'm sure the New Day will reclaim those titles again. But you know, now we're getting up for Survivor Series, so who knows? They might compete there again for the tag champs, or they might be in a 5-man elimination type Survivor Series style matchup. So we'll see what happens next month in regards to that pay-per-view. But other than all, man, that match was crazy. Great opening match, but you know, kind of hard to follow afterwards. The next match was Randy Orton and Rusev. Wish I could be excited for this, because I really wanted Rusev to win this one, but Randy wins via RKO out of nowhere, of course. A pretty good match, though. You know, not a horrible match or anything. It's just, you know, it was lackluster in that anyone that was hoping for a Rusev push now, like a dominant monster push, that got sucked right out of the sales there. And just you know, more awesome on Rusev's side, though. And I believe Randy was on the Edge and Christian podcast, where he said he wants to give up more offense to guys like Aiden English. So maybe we're going to start seeing that. But you know what? You also got to put over the guys for it to mean anything, especially for someone like Rusev, who was built to be this awesome, unstoppable monster. Did such a good job when he first came up to the main roster. And then because he had the Cena effect, Cena buries you at WrestleMania. And then, not that he buries you, but, you know, he wins at WrestleMania, doesn't put you over, and then you start to stay stuck in mid-card status. Same thing happened with Bray Wyatt. You know, he was on a roll. The Wyatt family and everything was on a roll. And then Bray Wyatt faced Cena at WrestleMania, and guess what happened? Cena wins, and then Bray Wyatt's push started to decline from there on out. And then, as you can see, he won the title, finally, but that's because he was drafted to SmackDown, and Cena isn't the main focal point on SmackDown. So, you know, just very unfortunate to me. And this is not to be the typical Cena bashing, you know, commentary that a lot of people like to leave when they're talking about Cena. It's just, you know, telling it for what it is. Cena, you know, these are two guys, Bray Wyatt and Rusev, who are being pushed as the top heels. And, you know, it's like as soon as they have an encounter with Cena, it's over. It's done. It's done. That push is done. You're not a dominant heel monster anymore. You're not on your way to the moon. You know, you're done. You're done, and you're stuck in mid-card status for a long time. And, you know, Rusev is someone that should be in the main event picture. Bray Wyatt should be in the main main event picture. But it's just that Cena effect for whatever reason. Even though, like I said, Cena's been putting, I've said him another podcast or whatever, maybe, that Cena has started putting people over, and that's been great. But it's like for some of these guys that he faced a few years ago, it's like that effect is still resonating there. It's still, you still have that lingering effect of Cena beating you and stopping your push, bringing it to a halt. So, I don't know what to say about Rusev anymore. I really hope they repackage him and let him loose again like they did when he was the United States champion, the big Russian bad guy that came from Russia, and he, a la Rocky, just like Rocky, the Russian, and dominating everybody. And then it's like you met Mr. America, John Cena, and then it's been done ever since then. So hopefully they do a lot more with Rusev, because he deserves so much better than this. Randy Orton, I know it's not his decision, more than likely, because especially since it seems like he always wants to help out the younger guys and put guys over. I think it's more creative, and then we got to go back to Vince. He's so in love with his Cena, Randy Orton guys. It's just, I guess it's okay to sacrifice the younger guys for those guys, even though for, at least for Cena, doesn't sound like they're going to be there that much longer anyway. So yeah, let them get all the wins they want, Vince. Smart move. Not really. But yeah, other than that, it was a good match between the two. Just the outcome was not desirable at all. And then they did air a KFC commercial. Oh man, and Kurt Angle was dressed up as Colonel Sanders. It was pretty good. Heath Slater was the chicken. It was a pretty funny little commercial, and they announced in there, not that this is a big deal or anything, but when 2K18, WWE 2K18 comes out for Xbox and PlayStation 4, you're going to be able to play as Colonel Sanders. So for those of you that are big KFC fans, there you go. And the next match on our list here, or from the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view, AJ Styles defends the United States title against Baron Corbin and Ty Dillinger. Pretty good matchup, actually. They gave these guys a lot of time. They gave them about 19 minutes to put on a good show for everybody, and they did. It was a solid match. Great effort by all three guys in there. I didn't mind that they added Dillinger. I saw people complaining about that, but it's like, no, you know what? Let him have his chance. You know what? I think SmackDown does a better job at least trying to showcase all their talent, even their mid-card talents, better than Raw, who has a 3-hour show and they seem to fail or have trouble and issues with doing that. At least SmackDown, yeah, it's like, oh, I'm just gonna throw a random guy into this triple threat match. Seems like that, but at the same time, they're trying to have Ty Dillinger connect with the fans. You know how you do that? You give him credible victories. You don't have him going out there making it obvious that he's going to do the job to whoever he's facing. You give him some credible victories. He's such a good wrestler. Great talent. He can go in there and hang with guys like AJ Styles, Bobby Roode, Ziggler. So let him have that chance. Let him shine. Let him be thought of as more than a jobber or a mid-carder. Let him be treated like a legitimate contender who could one day contend for the WWE Championship. So then it won't seem so random that you're just throwing them in there, because I know a lot of people probably thought that, like, oh, they're just doing it just to throw in anybody or a mid-carder to take the loss, which, Dillinger did take the pinfall. Baron Corbin is now your United States champion. But good match. If you like the triple threat match style matches, I do. I tend to love them. I love the multi-man matchup, the multi-wrestler matches, whether it's the Fatal 4-Ways, triple threats, the 6-pack challenges. I usually like those because there's always a lot of chaos, a lot of good drama, a lot of good action, high octane action, usually, and those types of matches. And but this one was really good, solid match right down the middle. Baron Corbin picks up the win. He actually boots, which looked pretty brutal actually. AJ Styles went for the pin on Ty Dillinger after, I believe, hitting the 450 splash. Corbin came in and he he hit him with the phenomenal forearm. That's right. He hit him with the phenomenal forearm. He hit Ty Dillinger, AJ did, with the forearm, and then Corbin came in there and kicked Styles right in the chest, kind of like the 300 Sparta, the Spartan kick right to the chest out of the ring, and that was a pretty brutal bump that AJ Styles took there. But yeah, Baron kicks him in the chest, sends AJ flying out of the ring, and covers Ty Dillinger. Sorry, I can't talk again. Ty Dillinger, and becomes your new United States champion. So is Baron Corbin officially out of the doghouse now? Are they gonna let bygones be bygones, forgive and forget, and continue with the push for Baron? I don't like the cowardly heel. Baron Corbin is a big badass, so he should be built as so. They should bill him that way. You know, they should book him that way. He shouldn't be running like the way he was running from Ty Dillinger and AJ Styles. He should have been like, screw it, you guys want to take me on? I'm gonna bring the fight to you then. And he should have just started going at it with them, but they had him trying to avoid Ty and AJ and running away from them. It's like, dude, you're 6'10", 6'9", 300 pounds, 270 some pounds or whatever, and AJ and Ty are about 6 foot, you know, at the most, 6 foot, 6'1", 230, 25 pounds. So you shouldn't be afraid of those guys. And you're a Golden Gloves champ, which means even more so you shouldn't be afraid of those guys. But you know, let's see where they go with Baron Corbin here, because I think SmackDown at least realizes it more than Raw does from time to time anyways. It seems that when they have someone that's like Baron Corbin, well, you know, I can't say that because Raw has Braun Strowman and they've been doing a phenomenal job with him. But still, it seems like SmackDown just they book them better, or at least they try to, it seems like, and they recognize the strong points of each guy. Hey, he's a big guy. He's a badass big guy. He should be doing badass things. He should not be afraid of guys or other guys, especially guys that are smaller than him, even though, you know, we didn't see that example with the Baron Corbin. But I feel like they, you know, I mean, look at what they did with Bray Wyatt. He won the title. Finally. He should have won the title a long time ago, but they recognized that and realized that, and they put the title on him. It was for a short time, but they still did it. But, you know, I can't say that resonates with how they're treating Nakamura, but I'll be into that in a second here. But we'll go with the Natalya versus Charlotte women's match. Not as good as their other matches. They've put on I should say their NXT match. That NXT match that they had a few years ago, I think it was like back in 2014, if I'm not mistaken. That match was way better than what we saw last night. Really good match last night, but, you know, nowhere near that match. Nowhere near the magnitude of that NXT title match that they had a long time ago. But the match was pretty good. Natalya was working the leg, you know, classic working the leg, working Charlotte's leg, trying to take out her main offense, which is the figure eight, her finisher. Modification of the figure four leg lock from her dad, Ric Flair, the Nature Boy. The Nature Boy! Woo! But yeah, so that was the whole story of that match. Natalya working the leg, trying to take out Charlotte's offense, her strong points. And it ends with Natalya attacking her with the chair. Charlotte did a pretty crazy moonsault to the outside of the ring. Did a really good job selling that leg injury, showing that she was in excruciating pain. Her face told the whole story. And she did a great job on selling that. Not sure if she actually really did hurt her leg at all. But, you know, Natalya did her part, working the leg, working her over in the match. Charlotte, you know, getting the babyface sympathy. I'm getting hurt. I'm getting my leg worked. And now look at me. I'm coming back. I'm trying to fight. I'm not giving up. I will not go down quietly into the night. I'm going to moonsault out to the ring. And then Natalya attacks her with a chair for the intentional disqualification. So your winner, Charlotte, defeats Natalya by DQ. Natalya, still your SmackDown Women's Champ, which I hope stays that way for a while. I know Carmella still has the Money in the Bank briefcase, which I actually totally forgot about last night. I wasn't even thinking of the fact that maybe Charlotte was going to pull off the victory. I was thinking, you know, maybe a roll-up, you know, a little roll-up because her leg was too injured for her to pull off the figure four or the figure eight effectively. So maybe going for the nice little roll-up pin, getting the win, and then out comes Carmella to attack the already injured leg. the leg that Natalya was injuring throughout the whole match. So I didn't even think of that. And then I remembered, oh yeah, hey, Carmella's still the Money in the Bank briefcase holder. She didn't come out tonight, so obviously didn't go with that. So who knows how they're gonna go or what they're gonna do with that. I don't really see her successfully cashing it in. And why are they holding it on if she's not going to? Like, just get it over with. But I think, I don't know, maybe like part of me kind of says maybe they want to hold on as she's improving, because she's not too bad in the ring. She's not too bad. She's good on the mic. She can carry herself on the mic. She's very confident when she speaks in front of everybody. So no problems there for her. But I don't think she's been given the opportunity to have a competitive match, really. A long pay-per-view quality competitive match, one-on-one with the likes of Natalya, Charlotte, Becky, Sasha, any of those girls. So maybe they're just wanting her to hone the craft more a little bit, get more experience before they pull the trigger and have her cash it in, because maybe they're going to plan on her winning it. So we'll see where they go with that. But the next match, it's a very disappointing thing to talk about, just because I feel like now you guys killed it. You killed the momentum for Shinsuke. Now, part of me was thinking when I saw Jinder Mahal defeat Shinsuke again for the WWE title last night at Hell in a Cell, not even inside a Hell in a Cell match, just a Hell in a Cell regular one-on-one match. Very disappointed when I saw that. I'm like, okay, because I've been happy that they finally, gave Jinder a chance. They took this guy who was seen as nothing more than a jobber, who was going to come out to put everyone over, and he wins that six-pack challenge to face Randy Orton for the WWE Championship. And they've let him hold on to it for a little bit. Really thought he was going to drop the title to Shinsuke at SummerSlam. Didn't happen, obviously. And I thought last night for sure Shinsuke was going to pick up the victory and get the title. But obviously that wasn't in Vince's plans or WWE. Not sure why they're doing this. I don't know if they just feel that he's not connecting with the fans, but really, come on. Do you blame them? It's the way you're booking him. No one's excited for it because I'm sure a lot of people actually expected Shinsuke to lose last night. They did have that India tour promo that a lot of people said listed Jinder Mahal as a 2-time WWE champion. So I'm sure there was a lot of people thinking like, oh, Shinsuke is going to win tonight and then drop it at Survivor Series or something, which I kind of started thinking that was going to happen. But I also know they've done that before where it looks like they're giving away the spoilers for what's going to happen at the, upcoming pay-per-view. They've done that with Brock before where it made it, or not Brock, someone, I forgot, it may have been Cena, where it said he was still champion after a pay-per-view where he was going to defend the title and he ended up not winning the title still, or it was something like that. Something where someone was listed as champion and still listed as champion at the next of live event or pay-per-view, and then that wasn't the case after the pay-per-view had gone by. So part of me thinks that they kind of do that just to swerve people, or it could just be a simple mistake, a typo on the ad. Either way, nonetheless, I actually went in there expecting Shinsuke to win this time. I thought like, okay, they're gonna pull the trigger now. They gave us that little disappointment where you're like, man, the momentum just got sucked out of the room here, and so did the life of Shinsuke's push. And then they kind of had you thinking like, okay, that they did that on purpose because now he is gonna win this next time. And now that they did this with him again, having him lose to Jinder just like that after the fact that the Singh brothers were already kicked out of the match, he still lost. So I don't know, are they trying to do again what they did with Daniel Bryan and Randy Orton, where like Randy Orton just kept Daniel Bryan was just so close, but was always coming up so short, not pulling it off. Are they doing this on purpose because they want to go with AJ Styles winning the title, Shinsuke winning the Rumble, having that main event at WrestleMania? Well, it probably won't be the main event because Brock Lesnar's still the champ, and I'm sure they want Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar to close out the show, which of course they will, because it's Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns. But is that what they're trying to do? Like, are they hoping that they're going to get that same raw, authentic reaction from the crowd if they keep pulling the rug under from Shinsuke and people are going to be upset? Do they want to try to start a new yes movement with Shinsuke? I mean, because obviously brought him over here with big plans in mind. They weren't going to treat him just like any other mid-carder. At least that's what it seemed like with the presentation of Shinsuke in NXT and then bringing him up to SmackDown. At first, it really seemed like he's a big deal, and that's how we're going to treat him. So is it because they messed up and the crowd isn't connecting with him anymore because of the fact that the writers messed up and the booking and Vince messed up with Shinsuke? So are they thinking like, okay, well then we need to regain that authentic crowd reaction and desire to see Shinsuke as WWE champion, so we need to pull the rug from under him a few times and then have that yes movement type movement going on for Shinsuke come Royal Rumble, and everyone's going to be behind him, hoping for him to win. Also knowing, if they do put AJ Styles in the title picture right then and there already, if he already has the WWE Championship by then, is that their way of thinking? Is that their logic? Shinsuke is going to be in the Rumble match. AJ is going to be the champ. Everyone's going to want to see Shinsuke win so they can see Shinsuke versus AJ Styles rematch of New Japan at WrestleMania. Is that the logic they're going with? Who knows? Maybe. But I don't know. I hate to say it, I don't really expect them to be that smart and clever with the booking. I'm not going to bash because I can't say I know how to book a show. I'm not going to be like all those fans out there, all those anti-WWE fans who are anti-WWE fans because it's the cool thing to do. And because, I've said it before, if it's not Ring of Honor, New Japan, or Bullet Club, they think everything is trash, which they're wrong in that. But, because I'm a fan of all those, New Japan, Bullet Club, Ring of Honor, but I also recognize as WWE having great content as well. And I can also acknowledge and admit when they're doing a poor job, when they're doing a horrible job with their booking. But, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I know how to book the show. I'm going to just give my opinion on what I think they should do, or how I think, or what I think would be a good idea, a good way to book the show or a certain match or whatever, a certain wrestler. Or maybe I'm just speaking from what fans want to see, and they do. I know at the very least, in general, they wanted to see Shinsuke win. Now, I don't know if they're just doing this too because, as we know, after SummerSlam tends to be a slow period for WWE, except for Survivor Series. But everything else in between and after Survivor Series, between Royal Rumble, before Royal Rumble, it's pretty lackluster in the WWE, business-wise, content-wise, storyline, everything. So is that why they're keeping the title on Jinder and they don't want Shinsuke to have it because they know it's a bad time? And maybe they don't feel Shinsuke, even with his popularity, would be able to really make a difference and affect business in a good way. And maybe they want to save all that for WrestleMania season, which I could see them going with that too. But if that's the case, you really have to be careful with how you're booking Shinsuke from here on out. He's got to be dominant. You got to make him a beast. Show off that MMA background. And he's really need to showcase that. So we'll see where they go from here. But really disappointed in that match, the outcome of that. I really hope there's a bigger plan, a bigger picture for Shinsuke Nakamura going forward. Like I said, I do like that Jinder. I like that Jinder got his, had his moment with the title, but I think we're getting close to the point to where it needs to be done because I think a lot of people are getting tired of it. I'm not getting tired of it, but I think a lot, your main audience might be getting tired of it a little bit here. So you might want to start thinking of something. Maybe you want to give it to AJ Styles. I mean, that's what they're going with. Maybe they feel AJ Styles is capable of boosting the business and, making this slow time of the year for WWE be a decent or successful one. So we'll see what happens with that. And next match, so, with that being said, going back to that really quick, Jinder defeats Shinsuke Nakamura to retain the WWE Championship. And the next match, this was obviously a little filler match before the main event, the calm before the storm. Dolph Ziggler versus Bobby Roode, and Ziggler, he's told everyone that he was going to have this crazy entrance. And what does he do? He comes out to no music, no pyro, no lights, just the light on him walking out, crowd booing. I thought that was cool. I thought that was clever, because Ziggler's been coming out with all these mocking all the other wrestler entrances. The best one, I think, was The Undertaker's when he did that. That was awesome because people got excited. And then he took the air right out of the room when they realized it was him dressed as The Undertaker. And then the way he was laughing and talking crap on The Undertaker's entrance, it was awesome. And then, teasing up the fact that he was going to come out with some crazy entrance. And then he comes out to silence. That's awesome. And Bobby Roode, of course, making his glorious entrance. But you know what? The crowd, I think they were just dead because of the Shinsuke match. And then, it was coming on to the third hour soon here. Or, well, the second hour, I should say. Sorry, it was going to come on to the third hour. Or close to the third hour, I should say. Over 2 hours. And it had already been over 2 hours of the pay-per-view. And I think the finish of the Shinsuke and Jinder match really sucked the life out of the arena. So, it was kind of hard for them to get into this match because both guys, Bobby Roode and Dolph Ziggler, are excellent wrestlers. They know how to get it done in the ring. They know what they're doing. They're pros. They're two of the very best in the world. And, the crowd just wasn't really into it too much, other than for a few of Bobby Roode's offense maneuvers. And then the finish, they popped. But then, of course, they reacted again with some boos because Ziggler so that was a little really cool segment or sequence. Dolph going for the roll-up pin, Bobby reversing it into a roll-up pin, Dolph re-reversing again into a roll-up, and then Bobby Roode reversing it again into the roll-up pin and getting the 1, 2, 3, getting up to celebrate, and then Ziggler immediately hits him with a zigzag, and then the crowd starts booing again. Ziggler leaves Bobby Roode in the ring, walks out, Bobby Roode stands back up, panders to the crowd a little bit, and then leaves, and then that was it. Bobby Roode and Dolph Ziggler, this program is going to continue, obviously, into Survivor Series, I assume. Don't know if they're going to have another pay-per-view before then. I don't think so. I know we have TLC coming up for the Raw brand, so I think that's actually it, because that's going to happen in a week or two, and then we have Survivor Series. So let's see, maybe Ziggler and Roode continue their feud on SmackDown TV a few times, and then that's it. Or they'll probably be on opposing teams if they're not going to go with the typical Raw versus SmackDown Survivor Series matchup. Maybe they'll be on opposing teams in the Survivor Series, but we'll see what happens with that. And then last but definitely not least, the Hell in a Cell main event, Kevin Owens versus Shane McMahon. I love the way this match was laid out. It was a great match, a 40-minute match. They brawled on top of the cell, and that was just so eerie, I don't know, it was just tense, very tense, because they were on top of the Hell in a Cell, and it's so crazy how they could tell a great story with simple maneuvers like back body drops and body slams and suplexes. Like, the fact that they were doing all that on top of the cell, that had the arena was silent, not because they were tired or bored, because they were like, oh my god, what's gonna happen? Someone's gonna fall through the cell, someone's gonna fall. Like, that was that aura that you felt, that vibe that you felt from the crowd. Everyone, you could just feel that emotion. Like, everyone was tense, like at the edge of their seat, because you didn't know. Because yeah, it was a long drawn out brawl on top, but it kept you captivated. It kept you at the edge of your seats, because you really were wondering, like, are they going to do some crazy crap here? Is someone going to fall through the cell? Luckily, they didn't do that, but man, that was a good match. A lot of good storytelling in that match. Kevin Owens saying, why are you making me do this, Shane? Why are you making me do this, Shane, huh? Why are you making me? Like, He was like upset that he had to destroy Shane McMahon in a Hell in a Cell. But great match in there. Both guys really dishing out the offense there, going back with the blows, punches. Shane trying to show off his MMA background, his short MMA background, since he's been training with Muay Thai and kickboxing. But man, those guys up on that cell, that takes a lot of guts to be up there just to taking a back body drop or a Russian leg sweep. You know, inside the ring, it's effective, but it doesn't have that same impact when you're fighting on top of the Hell in a Cell, knowing the history of Hell in a Cell, of the roof given away on Mick Foley in 2 different Hell in a Cell matches. So it was kind of like, wow, like these simple maneuvers are really having an effect on the crowd. It's really making a difference. It's telling a story. Jeez, that's what happens when you tell a story. Go figure. When you actually have a good story told in the ring, it actually resonates with the crowd. The crowd actually eats it up. They're actually into it. See, Vince? That's all you got to do. But I mean, not saying you have to have a Hell in a Cell match every night or every week or whatever, but it's just simple things like that. They were doing simple maneuvers on top of the cell, but it meant that much more, and it told so much more of a story just because they were on top of the cell, and it had everyone captivated and intense. So, great match. And then we saw Owens climbing down. He said, screwing this, I'm going to climb back down. Shane McMahon following him back down, ramming in his head into the cell while they were hanging off the cell. Kevin Owens falls onto the table below. Shane McMahon gets back down, clears out another table, puts Owens on that table, goes to the very top of the cell because Shane McMahon is crazy. Can't believe he did this. A lot of guts. I mean, to stand at the edge of that cell, like, I couldn't even imagine what was going through his mind as he was standing at the edge of that thing, waiting to jump down on Owens. So Owens is laying there on the table. Shane McMahon does his little sign of the cross, leaps off the cage, off the Hell in a Cell. You see Owens move out of the way, but you didn't know if Owens moved or if someone moved him because it looked like, you could see like, it looked like someone grabbed him. So someone grabbed Owens. Shane McMahon hits the table, crashes down, brutal bump. And then next thing you know, you see Sami Zayn right there. And the crowd just was like, what? Like, what? Sami just helped Kevin Owens? And that's exactly what happened. And you know what? You kind of had that hint that Sami was going to do something because of SmackDown when Shane was going to come out trying to warn Shane McMahon about Owens. And like Shane was kind of, being rude. It kind of, Sami was just looking out for Shane. And Shane's all, you know what? I appreciate Sami, but take care of your own self. I will take care of me. You take, he just kind of chewing him out a little bit. And then just the way Sami looked at him when he left, you almost thought like, was Sami going to turn heel? Is he going to turn heel? And Sami did at Hell in a Cell. He shocked us all. Everyone was in shock. Couldn't believe what they saw. Sami Zayn helping Owens off the table for Shane, but it really put the nail in the coffin. He really put the nail in the coffin when he helped Owens pin Shane, when he helped Owens and dragged him across the outside floor and over the table that Shane McMahon crashed on. He draped Kevin Owens' arm over Shane McMahon for him to get the 3, and he made the ref count the 3 for Owens, and Kevin Owens defeats Shane McMahon. So, wow. Yeah, so I can't wait to see where they're going to go with that one. So SmackDown did a good job there. The only match they didn't do a good job with was with Jinder and Shinsuke, but, I already went enough on about that. But great ending to the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. Great match. All around, like I said, great pay-per-view. Good pay-per-view. Solid in-ring wrestling down the middle. I mean, even the Shinsuke and Jinder had good wrestling in it. So, on that part, it was passable. It was good. But just the ending of that. But overall, the pay-per-view was really good. And if you haven't checked it out yet, definitely go on the WWE Network that you can get for $9.99 a month. Only $9.99. And by the way, if you've never subscribed to the network before, they always do the first month for free. So you could always check it out for free. And if you don't like it, just cancel your subscription. It's that easy. No contracts or anything like that. No, I'm not a spokesperson for WWE. I'm not being paid for that advertisement. I just think it's an awesome product because of all the content. Me and my wife this Saturday, we were just watching old Hell in a Cell matches. We watched old Survivor Series, The Undertaker's debut, 1990 Survivor Series with Ted DiBiase, because she always wanted to see the $1 Million Man, since we saw his Funko Pop figure at a few different stores, at GameStop and at Walmart. So she's like, you know what? I want to see some $1 Million Man and stuff, some Ted DiBiase clips. So, you know, we started watching the network, and it's just so awesome that you can go in there and you can check out the old pay-per-views, all the old pay-per-views, WWE, WCW, ECW, all the vault stuff that they have on there of the old good stuff. And then just the original content they have on there as well. Southpaw Regional Wrestling, that thing is awesome. That show's so funny. John Cena does a great job in that one, actually. You should check that out too. I did like the storytelling animation one that they have too. And the camp one, the WWE camp cartoon, that one was pretty funny. Had Family Guy humor type in it. But yeah, the network is awesome. And a lot of people talk trash because, you know, people are never happy, and they're all know-it-alls. They know what's right and what isn't, and what's good and what isn't, apparently. But you know what? It's a great product. For $10, stop complaining. If you're complaining about it, stop complaining, because it's great. And you get all the pay-per-views that are live every month. What do they usually have? 2 pay-per-views a month? Sometimes you get a third one in there, one that's an NXT pay-per-view. Next month, you know, if you subscribe next month, you're going to get Survivor Series for free. And you're going to get the NXT TakeOver War Games, which I need to talk about. So, NXT, William Regal announced at the tapings that they are bringing back the War Games match. I am excited for that. I know Triple H is excited because he's been trying to get that match in WWE for a long time. But Vince is like, no, it's WCW. No, you son of a... But it's good to see now that Triple H's influence has finally won here, and that we're going to get the War Games match. For those of you that don't know, War Games pitted two teams of 4 or 5 or more. Actually, and what a lot of people probably don't know is that the match was actually originally used in the NWA, and they held it at the Great American Bash 1987 tour. And it was actually created by Dusty Rhodes, who's inspired by the Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome movie, and he originally used it, or it was originally used as a match for the 4 Horsemen, and the first War Games match actually took place in the NWA Great American Bash 87 tour in Atlanta, and they actually held it a few times in the NWA, and then it became a WCW pay-per-view where they held it at the Fall Brawl pay-per-view, and this time they're bringing it back for NXT TakeOver Houston War Games, and looks like the match we're going to be seeing is Roderick Strong and the Authors of Pain versus Sanity versus the Undisputed Era of Kyle O'Reilly, Bobby Fish, and Adam Cole, baby! So that's, I'm looking forward to that. I'm going to have to get more into my NXT review or talk when I catch up with the last few weeks of NXT, so I can be on track with that and be following the storylines and everything leading up to that pay-per-view. But that's going to be awesome. Can't wait to see that. And for those of you that have been following Raw, you should know where tonight's Raw is going to be. Indianapolis, Indiana. And in case you didn't know where that was the debut. That was the arena that the Shield made their debut in at Survivor Series 2012. And if you didn't know, that is also the same arena that Seth Rollins turned on the Shield June 2014. So what I'm trying to get at is tonight you are going to see the return of the Shield. As you saw the way Raw ended last week, Roman Reigns got beat down by The Miz and The Bar. The Miz Taraj were banned from ringside. The Bar came out and helped out, or I think they were. I'm not sure if they were banned or if they were just down. No, sorry. Roman Reigns beat the crap out of The Miz Taraj, and then him and Miz had their one-on-one match, and The Bar came out and laid waste to Roman Reigns, and they did the triple power bomb, the Shield triple power bomb. And we saw that Raw ended after the 205 live segment with Kalisto coming out to challenge Enzo. We saw Roman Reigns sitting in his locker room, tending to his wounds, and then Dean Ambrose shows up, and then Seth Rollins shows up, and they all kind of just look at each other and kind of nod, and then it closes out the show. So this week on Raw, we'll start with our Raw preview here. We know that The Miz will be interviewing the Bar on Miz TV. So, I mean, I don't think I have to really go any further and tell you. I don't have to come out with any puns. I don't need to say stuff like, the writing is on the wall. We know exactly what's going to happen. The Shield are going to return tonight, and they're going to probably come out and lay waste to the Bar and Miz, and hopefully they just start laying waste to everybody again, and we bring back the Shield of the old. So are they doing this because they want Roman Reigns to get cheers going into his match next year at WrestleMania with Brock Lesnar? Who knows? Is that still going to be the plan? If they put the Shield back together, who knows? Why not? They have the tag team champions already, Ambrose and Rollins, so give Reigns the title. Let him have the main title, the heavyweight title, or the Universal Championship, and let them be the top dogs of the yard, ruling the WWE, running rampant, destroying everybody in their path, leading to an eventual Balor Club versus the Shield, which everyone's going to want to see. You know they're going to want to see it, and the club have already made hints that they want their tag titles back. So, are we going to start seeing the seeds planted for an eventual Bullet Club versus Shield rivalry? Because that will be an awesome feud. You know, so as long as they handle it right, write it right, book it right, that there's no reason why that should be a failure. That should be a top level main event storyline that should resonate really well with the fans, and that should go over really good with the fans. So we'll see what happens with that. So we know that to me, that's the main highlight tonight. That, and seeing how what else Braun Strowman's going to be doing. Is he going to be running rampant on Raw? Is he going to be destroying everybody in his path again? And what's going to happen to further the Bray Wyatt Finn Balor feud? Now it's a little more intriguing than it was before, because Bray is going to bring out Sister Abigail. Is it going to be Sister Abigail? Is there going to be a Sister Abigail? Will it finally be Paige? Like I had always thought before, a long time ago, like that Paige could be could play Sister Abigail. Or I've also said before, that'd be crazy if the twist was Stephanie was Sister Abigail. How crazy would that be? But or is it gonna be like the demon character? Is Bray gonna reach down deep into the dark depths of his soul to bring out this other personality? And is he gonna don some type of makeup or outfit, and that's gonna be like Sister Abigail? Like that's his split personality? We'll see. Very interested to see how they go with that, though. And are we gonna see some clues or hints to that tonight? And Mickie James, you know, she has this ongoing feud with Alexa Bliss. So they're gonna fight at TLC for the title. So that program's gonna get further today, or farther, I should say. We're gonna see further into that program today. And what about Asuka? Is she gonna pop up? Is she gonna make her presence known soon here, or are they just gonna hold her out and give her a random opponent for TLC? I kind of hope she shows up at least once for Raw to challenge somebody. That way it's just not thrown together like random. And then we'll see how they do with this new addition, Kalisto, who should have been in 205 from day one. I mean, come on, he's perfect for that division. Why wouldn't he be in there? Why wouldn't he have been there for 205 from the start? He's perfect for that. He has all the aerial, crazy, flashy offense, all the big high spots that everyone loves so much that, you know, apparently everyone wishes were the only style of matches being done in WWE or high spot matches. But he's perfect for that division. So hopefully this can reignite 205, and hopefully they start to treat it better. Enzo is going to do a good job as a heel. He's going to do his part. So let's see if they can do their part by having the babyface and in Kalisto, and let's see if they can push Kalisto and have him connect with the audience here. and let's see if he can garner in some new interest in the 205 division. But I think you're going to have Kalisto go against guys that can hang with him on the high-flying offense part of the matches. So we'll see how that goes. And other than that, SmackDown, we got that. We got to see what's going to happen with the fallout. What's going to happen with Sami and Kevin, with Shane. What's going to be their response? Is like Vince or Stephanie going to come out to talk some smack to Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn? We'll see. And we'll hopefully get an update on Shane McMahon and how he's doing after that horrendous bump off the Hell in a Cell. And what are they planning to do with AJ Styles? Are they going to insert him into the WWE title picture? Because who's next for Mahal after Nakamura lost twice to him? What are they going to do with Nakamura? Are we going to see anything of that? I heard Hideo Itami may be coming up to the main roster to feud with Nakamura. So maybe that would be a good way to kind of revitalize his push, get him a good victory over Hideo, because Hideo can go in there and hang with anybody and put on a good match and make anyone look good. And he's a very credible threat to anybody, and he comes off as that way. So, maybe they'll have Shinsuke fight him. Everyone knows how dangerous Hideo is. So, maybe they have Shinsuke and him feud and Shinsuke go over, and that kind of reignites his push, maybe. And then people will be like, okay, cool. Great, credible victory. Let's see where they go from here now. And Corbin, how are they going to treat his United States title run? Who's going to be the first contender? Will it be AJ Styles getting a rematch, or will it be Ty Dillinger challenging him for that? So we'll see what happens on SmackDown, but that's our little SmackDown preview. And what about the Usos and the New Day? Are they going to have an automatic rematch on SmackDown, or are they going to push it for Survivor Series? How are they going to continue with this saga in the tag team division? Are we going to have new teams inserted into the title picture? I think it should be Chad Gable and Shelton Benjamin. We will see, though. But that wraps up all of the wrestling talk for this podcast. We've already gone over Destiny 2, already gone over wrestling. So I think we're good to go as far as that goes. Just to give an update, still in the boxing classes, doing a decent job and hanging in there. I love that gym. That boxing gym is awesome. Supreme Boxer in Lake Elsinore. If you plan on taking some boxing classes and you live in Lake Elsinore or the surrounding area, check out Supreme Boxer. They're a great gym, great coaches, great staff there. They're not, the typical gym that, here, go do this workout and then I'll come back and check on you. They work with you through the workouts. They're there like a personal coach, as if you're a pro fighter training for a fight. They're right there, right by your side, making sure you're improving and you're getting all the lessons and you're getting the most out of your training. So it's awesome. And it's just, like I said before, this just puts me one step closer to realizing my ultimate goal of becoming a pro wrestler. And so far, so good. I'm able to keep up with the training, the cardio, everything they have us doing. I'm lasting all the way to the end. The first, like I said before on my other podcast, the first session, I didn't gas out until like the last 15 minutes, and then I just started gassing out really bad. But the last few sessions, I've been able to hang in there until the end without, getting really exhausted or gassed out and not being able to continue. I've actually been able to go through all of the workouts all the way to the very end. So I'm doing good. I'm progressing really good there. So I look forward to that. And tomorrow I'm going to be doing a live stream of Destiny 2 on October 10th, 2017 for the Destiny 2 weekly reset, as we get into some Iron Banner and grinding it out, completing all the weekly challenges and the milestones. So I look forward to doing that. Hope you look forward to that as well. Let me know in the comments of this video if you like this podcast, or if you want to see anything else other than the podcast and the live streams and Studio One tutorials. I'll be recording more of the tutorials today as well. Today or tomorrow. I'll definitely be recording some more, though, because that seems to be doing a decent job on my channel of getting more viewers, more people to view my channel. So, if you like this channel, give it a browse. Browse the videos that I have. I have everything from Destiny 2 live streams to podcast on Destiny 2 and wrestling to original music that I record and write in my own home studio. And a lot of other projects I'm going to be coming up with here shortly. And yeah, just a lot of good things going on here in the studio. So, and I really enjoy doing the podcast because, you know, I get to talk about Destiny 2 and pro wrestling, and now my journey to becoming a pro wrestler myself. So it's fun. I do have fun doing this. But with that being said, that's going to wrap up today's podcast. I've gone on long enough. So stay tuned for more content. Like I said, subscribe to the channel if you like anything you see here, so you can always be notified of new content coming out on my channel. With that being said, this is Chris with Master CDP Studios. Stick around.